Hey everybody, Nubkeks here. Hope you've all had a great weekend. And today I want to talk to you about Deathwing. How is Deathwing doing now he's been out on the live servers for a few days? I'm sorry I'm a few days late doing this. Our patch on EU got delayed like 2 days, unfortunately, basically. So, yeah, hence we're a bit behind in terms of putting this out there. But the good news or the bad news, I suppose, depending on what you think of the hero is, turns out Deathwing he's pretty damn overpowered. He is officially OP. You've heard it here first. Actually, no, you've not heard it here first. I think a lot of people have really clued in on this pretty quickly, actually, following release. But he's pretty damn broken. If we look here, I'm gonna put up a graph here. These are the top win rate heroes across all leagues of play in the game, and you can see Deathwing is in second place with a 62% win rate. Interestingly enough, Probius is actually the top win rate hero in the game right now with 63%, though he is only in 1% of the games. It's only 100 games he's been played in. We'll have to see how he holds up over more games. I guess possibly maybe the XP globes have really helped Probius. I'm not sure. That's something to take a look at. But Deathwing, he's been involved in a ton of games, and yeah, he is dominating, to put it bluntly. He's also been banned in 77% of games. And guys, unless you're going to first pick Deathwing, I would highly recommend that you simply ban him away with your first set of bans. Do not give the enemy team a chance to pick Deathwing. It's not a good idea. Even if you can take counter picks, we're going to look at the stats for the matchups as well. It's not looking pretty at all. Other top win rate heroes, you can see we've got Samoros up there, Rexar, Whitemane, Uther, and so on and so forth. So there are obviously very strong heroes as well, but you can even see if you look at the win rates, you know, Probius and Deathwing up at 62, 63. The next closest is 57% win rate. That's a 5% drop down, or well, it's just under a 5% drop in this case. That's pretty significant. That's pretty substantial. Deathwing is clearly overpowered. So he might not be nerfed this week. I'd expect it probably will take them another week after this. They usually nerf heroes or adjust them 2 weeks after release. So we'll see what's going to happen with Deathwing. Let's take a look at his talents, though. Which talents are doing the best? First up, we've got at level 1, the best talent overall is Draconic Might. That's the one that gives you protected and healing off your basic attacks. That one's doing really well. Dragon Soul is doing well too, and Molten Blood is performing significantly worse than the other two. Of course, it's still a massively positive win rate, but it's clearly one of the weaker talents there. At level 4, we have Dragon's Ire, which is giving you 30% more damage when one armor plate is broken. That is the best talent. Heatwave is also doing okay, and Infernus is doing the worst. Now, interestingly enough, I'm expecting in the long run that Infernus might actually turn out to be the best one, specifically because of his level 13 talents. But for now, there's no denying the numbers, there's no denying the facts. It is performing much worse than the other ones. So there you are. Level 7, pretty balanced talent here overall. Skyfall is doing the best here, with Death Drop and Firestorm doing pretty well too. I, again, would recommend, after playing more Deathwing, I think Skyfall is going to be the nicest one to pick. It requires the least coordination from your team, whereas Death Drop requires quite a bit of coordination. And I expect Firestorm is not going to perform that well in the longer term, though it's kind of equal on footing right now. But there you are. That's level 7. Looking at his level 10 choices, and Burn Beneath My Shadow, which increases the periodic damage massively of your Cataclysm and gives it resets on destroying forts or keeps, is over 10, well, it's about 10% higher win rate than Bellowing Roar. So I think basically in every game you want to be taking Burn Beneath My Shadow, pretty much without question. Like maybe in those very niche circumstances where Bellowing Roar fits incredibly well, you might grab that. But for now, Burn Beneath My Shadow. Level 13, again, you can see they're all relatively even. Fire and Fury, though, is pulling ahead. That increases your basic attack damage against heroes that are slowed, stunned, rooted, I think, and gives you some cooldown reduction on your basic abilities when you hit them. The other two talents are pretty even. For me, having played more, my favorite talent actually on this tier at this point is currently the lowest win rate one, but it's Wicked Inferno, which reduces the energy cost of channeling your Q, and it gives you a ton of energy back, 15 energy back for free whenever you cast your Q. It lets you fish for Qs, which I think is really important. I see like some of the comments on my Deathwing videos saying like, oh dude, you're missing a lot of Qs. Well, that's just going to be the way that Deathwing is. You're going to fish for Qs. You're going to try to catch people out in the choke points. Wicked Inferno really lets you do that. You can just fire your Q for a second, go, didn't hit, cancel it, and then go right back to casting it again, which I think is pretty phenomenally useful. And you basically stay completely energy neutral when you do that. It's really awesome. And it lets you just decimate some of those choke points when you do get a good hit. But for now, Fire and Fury is the top. At level 16 then, Elementium Plating stands out as performing the best. The other two talents are also performing very well, but Elementium Plating is doing the best. That gives you a shield based off of your missing health, and then heals you while that shield is active, and restores armor plates if you pass the threshold for getting an armor plate back thanks to that healing. So it really enables you to be a bit more aggressive. It enables you to use your melee attacks more. And yeah, it's the one to look at there. And then at level 20, Destroyer's Rampage, definitely standing out as the best option, giving you 40% increased damage when you land from your Dragonflight in Destroyer form. And also giving you faster cooldowns on your basic abilities as well. And then you refresh that 6-second buff whenever you deal damage to a hero. So it just kind of, it wins fights. It wins the fights really damn hard. It's just, it's an incredible talent. Level 20 talent that, you know, that can almost single-handedly turn the tide of a team fight. 40% more damage. What's not to like? Now, showing you Deathwing's maps really fast. And you can see some pretty stark numbers here. Cursed Hollow at a staggering 69% win rate for Deathwing across all the different league tiers. that's pretty obnoxious. Alterac passes up there as well. I think both of those maps, the thing that stands out for me in terms of both of them, why are they so ridiculously high? Both of them have these sort of relatively narrow choke points and these channeled objectives, both for attacking and defending, right? And I think Deathwing just thrives in those scenarios. He really does. They're also big maps as well, so his global gets extra value, and sort of pushing in waves and stuff isn't overly important. It's more about the team fights in the choke points and the objectives that those secure, right? He's pretty much good, as you can see, on every single map. Dragonshire, I think something similar to those two maps. You know, the choke point control over the channel points in bot and mid lane is really strong, and the global ability to gank up top is pretty cool as well. Brax's holdout, again, the ability to just breathe Dragonfire all over the channel point and secure it for your team, and the sort of little choke point that creates, pretty cool. A couple of that do stand out as being a bit weaker. Infernal Shrines, surprising to me, it's a little bit weaker, but I guess it's a bit of a, it tends to be more of an open area that people are fighting around, so not as much of a choke point to actually fight into. Hanamura Temple, I think, definitely stands out as being a very large and open map with lots of room to move around, and with only 2 lanes, not that useful for the global. Compared to Braxis, where you can gank the other channel point, for example. In Hanamura, there's nothing really to gank. It's all about fighting for the payload and the merc camps. And then Sky Temple, his worst one, with only 52% win rate. And I think, again, here the problem is the objective is just in a big, wide open area, and people can just walk around that damage that you're putting out. And Deathwing, compared to other bruisers, he's not going to do a very good job of soloing the temples. He's not going to do a very good job of fighting merc camps, that sort of thing. So I guess that's arguably why it's his weakest map. But yeah, obviously, if you're not banning Deathwing on Cursed Hollow or Alterac Pass, or any of those top maps, you're doing something wrong, so watch out for that. Interestingly enough, here, let's take a look at the top 5 allies for Deathwing's team and the top 5 threats on the enemy team. Quite interesting, eh? Quite interesting. The top 5 threats: Probius, Gazlowe, Murky, Abathur, and Samuro. Not what you would expect. Again, this is across all leagues of play, and considering that and considering those heroes, I think it highlights the main weakness of Deathwing is not countering him in the team fight, which is kind of what we expect that you should do to a hero, but rather it's about countering him on the map, right? So Samuro split pushing the map, right? Controlling the maps. Probius split pushing the map. Gazlowe split push, Murky split push, Abathur split soaking, split push, all that sort of stuff. I think that's the direction that you're looking to go to really beat Deathwing. It's going, he is arguably the best teamfight hero in the entire game right now. You're not going to win. It's not a fair playing field, but he's big, he's slow, He gets bonus damage from his trait against heroes, but he doesn't against PvE objectives, so we can outplay him in terms of, you know, just split pushing and destroying structures and not actually trying to fight him mano e mano, or I don't know, wingo e wingo, or however it goes. When we look through the list at some of the counters that I would have thought would be top counters and that you guys would consider top counters as well, we can see that they're all struggling pretty badly, actually. Malthael, 41% win rate. Leoric, 41% as well. Greymane, who I think most of us thought would be the top counter, at 39%. I've got several comments over the last few days saying Artanis is the best counter. Artanis, though, is sitting at a 38% win rate against him. Funnily enough, Tychus with his minigun, oh, we thought he'd be so good. He only has a 37% win rate against Deathwing. So, in other words, all the counters, they're having a pretty rough time. It's looking pretty bad. One thing to highlight here as well, which I think is pretty shocking, is that if you look at heroes that have an actual positive win rate against Deathwing, Probius, Gazlo, Murky, Abathur do. Samuro then is even at 50 and Sonya's down to 49. So there's only 5 heroes in the entire game right now that have an even or better win rate against Samuro. And literally all the others, every other single hero in the game has a negative win rate against Deathwing across all these levels of play. When we filter things for master level play in particular, it starts to look a bit more... we get very much smaller sample sizes, okay? A lot smaller sample sizes, but we can see a few trends start to come out and start to give some hope in terms of like when players are arguably potentially playing against the Deathwing well. And we can see that Hanzo with a few games is actually doing pretty well against Deathwing. Anna's actually doing alright too. So is Thrall, so is Leoric. So we've got a few heroes there that are actually doing, you know, with a few games under their belt, they're actually doing alright. Alarak not too bad either, though a very small number of games. One thing to note though is that even at this level of play, some of these heroes that we would have thought would do well against Deathwing, they're still struggling even at master level, right? So Vala only 45% win rate, Malthael 42. We've got Greymane at 37%. Oof. He's the most picked hero against Deathwing, actually. And then Tychus, I think the second most picked hero, is down there at 33% win rate. So, yeah, it's quite interesting looking at these heroes. There is some hope, mostly in the other bruisers, it looks like, in the Thrall and the Leoric, actually being able to, I think at this level of play, that they're actually out team fighting him. And Hanzo, Thrall, Leoric, they stand out to me as being heroes that are going to outfight Deathwing in the team fight at the top level of play that you can filter for and search for here on Heroes Profile. So that gives some glimmer of hope, but nonetheless, still the majority of heroes are having a pretty rough time against him, to put it bluntly. So there you go, guys. That is Deathwing. I'm going to leave you with the rest of this game that has been playing in the background. This is the game. It was still from the first day of Deathwing release, and this is where I started to twig that he might be pretty overpowered, because I thought going into this, I was thinking, gosh, we're on Sky Temple, and I didn't think it'd be great for Deathwing. I didn't realize it would be that bad, as we saw in the map stats, but I thought it wouldn't be great for us. We picked Abathur to go with Deathwing. We wanted to see if we could hat the Deathwing and make it work. It turns out you can't hat him, so it's kind of thinking, oh no, we're in trouble, and the enemy team had a lot of what I thought would be really good counters. But as you can see, we are putting up a really good fight, so I hope you'll enjoy the end of this video, and let me know what you think about Deathwing, what your experience has been playing against him, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the comments. Thanks for watching. Going in, boys. Really nice. Can you even counter Deathwing? So I'm wondering right now, is this guy even counterable? Doesn't feel like it right now. Let me tell you, doesn't feel like it. He feels pretty fucking OP if you ask me. Holy crap. Nice, nice, nice. How are we doing this, man? How are we winning this? What? How is this happening? Honestly, I think our teammates are playing out of their fucking minds, I guess. I'm so impressed. I really, like I said, I felt like this draft, 100% was like a 10% win chance draft. I think it's terrible. It's got so many weaknesses. I didn't expect to be able to do much on my Deathwing here, but we're making it work, I guess. Pity that didn't die. Do you want to land and push it down? Not without Jaina, I don't think. We could set up a split push. Camps then push mid. Yeah. Let's see if we can do that. It's gonna land at this point. We can go... Oh no, we can't go straight back up. It puts it on the full cooldown. Huh. I thought it refreshed the cooldown. I guess not. I guess not. That makes me a little bit weaker, but not too weak. We're gonna hit 20, so like they're not gonna want to fight. But I do need Destroyer's Rampage at 20. You can see how crucial this level 1 talent has been this game, though. It's been so good for us.
Choose a talent.
Do you have any way to slow him down? Jaina thing? Got him. Didn't even get to use our 20, bummer. Didn't even need it, I guess. Huge.
Very impressive.
Yule's gonna tank a little bit here.
Well done.
Insane. Wow. I genuinely... GG. Didn't think we'd win.
Congratulations. MVP.
I always knew. Nice. Good job, boys. Good job. Fuck. Holy crap. Is Deathwing OP, team? Is Deathwing OP as fuck? What is this? He doesn't even fit in the score screen. Like, is Deathwing just OP? Or is that our team just playing like gods? I wonder. I wonder. Does Protected work well versus Greymane Burst? Well, it doesn't block the Curse Bullet. The Curse Bullet hits you for the full chunk. So you basically start every fight at 60% health if he hits you. But yeah. Outside of that, I think it's pretty good against a Greymane, yeah. Gaining Protected is quite useful. I'm not sure how to min-max the shield thing. I haven't taken it before, but I think this build made sense this game. I didn't even get to use Destroyer's Rampage, which is like 40% more damage. It's OP as fuck. But like I said, our level 20 is crazy. Like, look at our level 20. Look how insane these level 20 talents are. Okay. Destroyer's Rampage. Deathwing, 40% more damage. And also 50% cooldown reduction. But mostly 40% more damage. That's pretty good. Abathur gets double symbiote. That's pretty good. Doubles all of these talents as well. Shield of Hope, pretty nice too. All nearby allies have a shield equal to half the health they're missing. It's fine. One thing this really counters is this. Johanna hits 2 more targets with the stun of Blessed Shield. The stun is now 2 seconds, and all targets are stunned for 2 seconds. So instead of being a 1.5 second stun on one person and a 0.75 second stun on 2 people, it's a 2 second stun on 5 people. And then Jaina gets Wintermute. The Water Elemental now mimics Jaina's abilities for half damage. So essentially it's like Abathur Symbiote's doing double damage. I'm doing 40% more damage. She's doing 50% more damage. Johanna is doing, I don't know how much more of a stun, but it's insane. And then Shield of Hope to counter them. That worked super, super well. Fuck, dude. I genuinely did not have any faith. I was a non-believer. I was a non-believer. And I apologize to my team.